that are new to me, my name is Lucy. I go by Heavenly Connections. I am a spiritual psychic medium, and I do a whole lot of other crap too. I'm also author, this, that, and another, and I'm building up my YouTube and Facebook, and we are live on both right now. This is my friend Lee. She goes by Moth Spirit. Why don't you introduce yourself, girl?
Hello, I'm Lee, like you said. I run a little spiritual business focused on spiritual empowerment called Moth Spirit. I do a lot with shadow work, ancestral veneration, and healing the lineage, among other things.
That's what I'm talking about. We are going to talk about astrology healing. We are going to try. We're right now. We're going to. I'm going to do a little sharing out. It's not saying I'm live. I didn't know why. Hello, Miss Ashley's in the house over on YouTube. Awesome, awesome. So I am trying very hard to go over here. So and share out a little bit. So Miss Ashley, you are on YouTube. I don't know if Miss Lee can do some sharing, but we're gonna listen to a spiel. She's gonna talk a little bit more about it while I do some sharing. And again, we are going to talk about astrology, healing, and hear a little bit about Lee's story. Because you said that's where you began with your astrology, correct?
Yeah.
I
So
also want to
before,
add that you have to go follow Moth Spirit, Miss Lee here. She is also a psychic medium. She does many things, ancestral work. She has personally helped
Mhm.
me with, not the broken heart. I love Miss Ashley. So, go ahead, go ahead. Let's hear what you got, girl.
Yeah, so I started with astrology before I started developing as a psychic medium, and it was when I was freshly leaving church, and I was looking to learn more about myself and my belief systems. And it really helped me form my self-image more around my authenticity and understand my ego more so I could heal that relationship with myself mainly, which is what I like to use it for. Um, it's a really good tool for divination, but it's mainly what it's helping me with is gain a sense of clarity around who I am and what brings me joy and peace in life. Um, it also helped me work through what people would perceive as difficult placements because it helped me find that those hardships were more meant for empowerment in the end, and it taught me how to work with them a little bit. So that's kind of what I help other people with in terms
So
of astrology.
I'm gonna say, and y'all, if y'all know me, if you don't, that's great. You'll get to know me. But we Miss Lee gonna dumb it down for me.
I'm gonna do
Um,
my best.
I always tell her dumb it down for me. So when you say illuminaries, explain that.
The luminaries are our sun and our moon. So that's the sun is our known self and the moon is our unknown self. So it's more of the subconscious. And understanding those two parts of us helps us harness like our masculine and our feminine energy. Um, and it kind of sheds light on some of our motivators and our influences in life in the way that we navigate our concerns or our fears or life's problems.
So as far as the sun and the moon goes, we're also talking stars. We're also talking planets. We're talking all the above to help us in our life's journey.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
All right.
that's
Hello, Miss Pam. Welcome in, sweetheart. All right. So, uh, what else you got? Are we going for questions? Because you can use me as the example if you need to.
okay. I was gonna ask you that
No, I'm
because
all about it.
okay,
I'm all about it.
well, part of personal growth when it comes to using astrology, I would usually look at the luminaries, like you said, the sun and the moon, the ascendant, all of the personal planets, which is up to Mars, I believe. I could be wrong on that. And then Chiron. And something that me and you share is a Chiron sitting right next to our sun in the seventh house.
Okay. Pause. I waited for this live. Okay. Miss Lee here talks about make sure to share out the live, guys, if y'all don't mind. I really appreciate it. But also, Chiron. What the heck
Yes.
is Chiron? Is it just a planet? She
It
talks
is an
about it all the
asteroid.
time, guys, and I'm like,
I
okay.
do, I do, because it is an asteroid, so it's not necessarily a planet, but it is a planetary body.
What does that
And
mean? Explain.
it are technically Chiron is known as the wounded healer. So it's one of the things that
A
it's
wounded
one of the
healer.
wounds that we never fully heal. It walks
Oh,
with us, we carry it with us, but we use the knowledge that we gain from healing that to serve ourselves and then serve the world. So what we share is I've seen it in a couple of people as well, where when you have Chiron sitting next to something as important as our sun, as our known self, it begins to shift the way that we even see ourselves. So you have a wonderful sun placement. A Taurus sun is lovely. I love Tauruses. But it can
lovely.
almost kind of take away. I'm a Scorpio, though. That's your sister sign. So I'm a little biased.
Wait, a Scorpio, a sister sign?
Yeah, so we kind
So
of
you're my
we oppose each
son?
other. Yes. Yes. So it's like we're
Isn't it
flipped.
bad, y'all? She knows more about my than I do. Okay, I'm writing this down. Hold on. Scorpio is my sister sign for Taurus.
Yeah, and I'll
Y'all, we
get
are
a
going to
little more
take
into
questions
sister
as
signs
well.
too.
So this is just
Yeah.
start, and yeah. So just letting y'all know. But Chiron, you said it's not a planet; it's a what?
It's an asteroid.
Oh,
It's a lot smaller. But it does have some impact in our day-to-day life, regardless of what Chiron you have, because right now it's sitting in Aries, and everybody has a house that Aries rules over. So when the sun or the moon go right next to it, it kind of triggers that energy out. So if the moon is sitting next to Chiron, it's going to trigger out those subconscious wounds. If the sun is sitting next to Chiron, it's going to trigger out some of the more known wounds or wounds around
let's slow
your
down.
identity.
Let's
Okay.
slow down. All right. So you said if Chiron is sitting by my sun, by the sun,
Mhm,
that's going to trigger
mhm.
my what?
It's going to trigger out limiting beliefs about yourself, but it could also illuminate, well, in that same sense, it's just illuminating some of the things that are holding you back from your authenticity, because the sun also shows a lot about our ego over
Ooh,
who we actually are.
that would come out in the download lately, several times. So, but if Chiron is sitting by the moon, it does what?
Yeah. It's more subconscious. It might happen more internally, that you might see that it might be like negative self-talk. I mean, there's more to it, of course. It's more unseen, or it's also seen in like the emotions, or it'll affect your intuition, your relationship with your divine feminine energy, those kinds of things.
Affect intuition. So that's why I've been through so much, because even when I knew, I was like second guessing myself my whole life. Like,
Yeah, that's a big thing with Chiron conjunct the sun, like it's sitting next to the sun, is not really seeing yourself, or the identity that has formed is around maybe more conditioning, like outer influences, than who you actually are. It's
hmm.
like layers. It kind of
So
takes more
it
to get there.
it makes like everything that people have said about, for example, let me make that clear. For example, the things that people say about me,
Hmm.
that makes me like truly believe it more than I normally would.
Yeah,
So where's
yeah,
our
especially
Chiron right now? Because I'm curious.
it's in Aries right now, which it loves to sit in Aries for longer than any other zodiac
Which
sign.
is
So it's
by the
been there for
moon
a
or
minute.
the sun.
Oh, yours specifically is in Taurus, and it is by your sun, which both of us share. So my sun is also conjunct Chiron in the seventh house.
So right now is the time to be believing what people say about me, like it more than usual.
No, I would look more to Mercury with that. But what I will say with that is that you're coming up to like Chiron, a transiting Chiron, which is where it's at right now. it's going to be leading up to your natal Chiron, which is where it was when you were born.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Wait a
So
minute.
that's
So I'm coming up to where I was born.
yeah, it's called a return. So it's like when your Chiron returns to its natal point. It kind of is how do I explain that? It might heighten
Slow
it,
it
but it
down though,
also
because you know my
right,
mind.
right.
Like I
It
got a
might
bunch of energy going on.
mhm,
So remember that.
yeah, right. So it could heighten some of your biggest wounds, but it also might bring the most clarity as well.
So when is this gonna happen?
Probably not for another couple of years. It's very, very slow moving.
Well, let's do that. Let's do that. All right. What else you got for me? Okay,
Um,
wait. Everybody in the chat, let me read. You have some things down here.
mm,
Let's see. I feel that everything outside ourselves is stuck in the matter. What we are leaving. I was shown that if you give your energy to the fake sky, you feed. I can't say that. Can you see it?
I can see it. I don't know what it means.
DMIURG. And if I say it, I am going to butcher it.
Yeah,
And this
same.
was sourced above the fake sky.
Yeah. Um, I mean, it's for me, everything's energy. The planets are energy, and it's something that is happening um regardless of belief system, in my opinion. And it's not really essentially about what we put our power in, but more about utilizing the energies that are around us. Very similarly to when we're met with hardship in our relationships or issues within the home or issues within work, that's all an energy to utilize. And we
So
kind
this
of
is
get
the perfect time for me to say, if you know me, technically I'm a Christian psychic medium, and I back up all my abilities in scripture, including the left out scripture. We actually talked about this before. I was going to throw this in here because, for example, in the Book of Enoch, and some of you have been watching over here on YouTube. I do have the 5-part series, the live we did, and that is where I learned that God did make the sun, and which we already know, the sun, the moon, the stars, and all to help us on this earth and during this life. So this is my belief system. Let me say, and those of you that know me, if you don't, and Miss Lee, we actually have a lot of the same beliefs. We really
yeah.
do, because I think outside the box, and I know there's more, and I'm just kind of adding that for the replay.
Mhm.
Also, if you were watching the replay, make sure you comment, say hi, and let me know what platform you are commenting from. But there's a lot more to that. But in the Book of Enoch, the left out scriptures, that is where God says that by prophecy, that eventually people, hello, welcome in. Eventually, people would forget that God created the skies and worship just the sky. So it is in Enoch that source, the creator, God, whatever your vocabulary may be, um, the sky was to help direct us on this earth. Hence the Farmer's Almanac. If you don't know what that is, let me know. Most people do, but this year, 2026, is the last one they're ever going to make.
Yep.
And the Farmer's Almanac, I mean, come on. Even my family that don't, really care about me being public with my gifts, live by the darn Farmer's Almanac to get dental work done. So the Farmer's Almanac is very important. They decided they're going to take it away, and yeah, I'm going to stop there. But the skies are very, very important to how we live our life, just like before clocks, before all
Mhm.
the things we have. I mean, my daddy, that's how he would hunt, is by the moon and what direction and a compass and all that. So the skies are very important. And yeah, they help
Yeah.
us. And I'm just trying
Mhm.
to learn. And I tell Lee she got to dumb it down for me.
The
Because
best way I can explain astrology is that in my point of view and in my work, they're essentially like guides. They're a spirit to be worked with, and that's of course up to everybody's choice how you work with energy or whatever it is. So, and that's how I view it, as like they're teachers. They teach me something. They all kind of rule over something, and their lessons align with what they rule over. And so when I follow like the retrogrades or the moon cycle, it helps, it gives me clarity on the lessons that those energies are trying to teach me more than anything.
So, just like, okay, so I got a question just hit me.
Mhm.
There has been scientific studies of, now I have to say, for a public platform, that I'm very, I'm telling you that over half of those that have been diagnosed with a mental illness such as schizophrenia, or I'm a medium, I we're mediums, right? So those, I really believe that is not the case. I believe they are communicating with spirit or seeing spirit. I really, that's my personal opinion, but there's been scientific studies in what they call mental wards. I am so bad with vocabulary. Everybody knows this. Lee knows how much I worry about it because I never want to hurt anybody or offend anybody on purpose. So, but there's been scientific studies where on a full moon, there is a difference with the energy of that room, that ward. Why do you think that is?
So when there's a full moon, the moon and the sun are directly opposing each other. And with the moon representing our subconscious and our emotions, it will heighten that aspect. It'll highlight it to put that focus on it in order to bring clarity. Um, but it can have, especially on people who do struggle with mental health, and they are so open. I do believe that they are very open and to energies as well. So I could
Mhm.
see where it's getting heightened when you have like the sun fully illuminating the moon. So if you think about the waning and the waxing cycles, if you're essentially, you take the new moon, that's the beginning of the new cycle, and the sun slowly illuminates it. So over the next 2 weeks, you're going to have new ideas and new inspirations, and that's why it's associated with manifestation, because it is a good time to bring something into fruition, but it's also a time for gaining clarity. And from the full moon, they associate it with release, because over the next couple of weeks, it's gonna wane. Sorry, my words. We are
I,
in the middle of the Mercury retrograde as well, but
we're in the
it's a
middle of
good
one.
time for like releasing it. Yes, we are. It's almost done though. It's been a good one.
I didn't know that. So here's where I get confused. And of course, I'm just help. I know you. I know how you know your stuff. You know what I mean? You know your
Mm.
stuff. I have no. I say dumb it down. I mean it. And because I know I'm just being funny, but I'm serious. I tell my doctor the same thing. Just dumb it down
I
for me.
mean, it's taken me 5+ years to get here, so I
Okay.
can understand.
Well, now that we have a few people on the live, I want you to So you said that when you started your astrology journey, what
Mhm.
led you to do that first? Like, I know how
Well,
many abilities you have. Why is your passion? I this is I'm excited because seriously, I've always wanted to know what made you. What was what? Why the astrology? Do you think? Because it's a
I
passion.
wanted it is a passion. You have to be passionate to learn astrology. There's no way around it. It's boring. I'm very honest with people about that. It's very boring to learn. You have to kind of be drawn to it. But mine was because I just wanted to know myself. And when I recognized how helpful it was, it kind of fueled that to have me learn so I can help other people with that. Because that's really been the core of my work, is wanting to help people know themselves to the point of empowerment, you know? And astrology is a really good tool for that. It can also help you if you have the birth chart of your, and like not just your ancestors, but your elders. You can
Oh,
see generational patterns. You can see things being passed down.
so that kind of adds to like I do the DNA thing.
Mhm.
Ancestors a big come. This ancestor come in yesterday. Were you in my live yesterday? On TikTok. Okay.
Nope.
Well,
Busy, busy.
Keisha, I mean, he done been here. And then he was here again, and it was uncle she had forgot about. And I'm like, I done made it clear, like, I need, anyway, it was an ancestor. She was a baby. And it's like ancestors just keep showing up. Why? So many. I've told you this before, but recently, like I sent you a picture
Mm-hmm.
where why at certain times? Does that have anything to do with the skies
Hmm.
on a spiritual
It
aspect?
could. It could. I could see maybe with Jupiter or Saturn, where that could pop up. Uh, but honestly, I noticed they just come when they like to show up when we need them most. I have different ancestors that pop up at different times, and there's something about their story, and even distant ancestors. I have my grandfather's brother who passed way before I was born that shows up for me because there's something to learn from his story and from his the way that he navigated life. And that's true for all of our ancestors, at least in the way that I experience
Right,
them.
right. I was also going to say, I don't know if I mentioned that she does a lot of ancestral work as well. I
Mhm.
might have mentioned it before anybody come in. Um, so let's slow it down a little bit for me. Because I'm all of a sudden now we're in the middle
Mhm.
of this. Some energies done got hyped. Somebody be feeling good today off up in here. And I'm glad because I need it. I need that energy for real. I'm not trying to take your energy. I'm just saying I need that positivity today. Trust me. Trust me. Also, if you have any questions during the live, and also if you watch the replay and you have questions, I will tag Miss Lee because you got to go follow her. I always say over on TikTok because that's my number one platform. I'm actually trying to move over here. Anybody over there knows. They know I be hollering Lee because she's smarter than the rest of us. And the fact I got her in a box, it's like, mm-hmm.
I just have time to do research. I do like to thoroughly look into things, and I do like to know them. It's the Sagittarius in me. It's the Scorpio in me that wants to get to understanding every bit.
Here's my question. Okay. So where does numerology and astrology come in? Because just
Hmm.
like, my son, 1122,
Mm-hmm.
he's on the cusp. So explain to me in the world uh, the difference because I'm like, I see the only thing about my personality other than being very loving um, and being the bull, the
Mm-hmm.
stubborn.
You got a lot of Taurus too. You don't just have a
Mm,
little Taurus. You have a Taurus stellium. You
but
have
don't I like love more than
Well,
like
yeah. So what that is you have most of your personal planets ruled by Venus, which rules passion and love and relationships, yes, but mainly our relationship with ourselves and our relationship with joy, I would say. And so since you have so much of that in your seventh house,
Ashley's a Sagittarius
mhm,
as well.
I
So
love
maybe you can
Sagittarius
tell
energy.
Ashley when you're done with which
Mhm.
I am aware. Let me let everybody know I'm aware. But Miss Lee, like, there's no way this one live is gonna teach. I mean, I'm jotting,
Uh-huh.
okay. But whenever you're done saying what you're saying, also when I'm open to any spiritual aspect, astrology, and we're sitting here talking about ancestors. Ancestors been showing up, and so I
Mhm.
do get a little. It kind of looks like if you know me, you know that spirit is trying to get my attention, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
okay, no, I'm trying to learn
Mhm.
something. So let me ask you this: he was born, okay, 1132 on
Mm.
1122. That's wild. Hold on. Seriously, guys. Okay, he was born at 1132 and on 1122. And 2005, which adds up to seven, which is, yeah, you know how I work. And my biblical
Mhm.
number seven, and it just hit me. Like I was thinking about that the other day and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about it. Seven.
Yeah, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what 1132 adds up to. I would say that numerology and astrology are more separate for me, but I can see just in terms of the energetic vibration of the number
Mm-hmm.
and how that shows up in the 12 houses. So we all have, based on like, depending on the system, because there are multiple types of astrology, like house systems and the way that you look at the planets.
Okay.
So I could see with the vibration of like one being with the energy of the first house, which is very much about self and independence, and I can see it in
Mhm.
that way. But these, in terms of like numerology, I would, all of that is more based into like life paths and career, which I don't know too much about past, like life paths and the
Well, life
current year that
path,
we're in.
I'm working on that too.
Right. There's
So,
always people
okay,
learn.
so I get it. That's why I get it confused because he's a Scorpio, but he's on the cusp of Sagittarius, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like right
Yeah.
there. Well, my husband is the same way. He's a Virgo, 824.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, but I know he's a Virgo and he's on the
Mm-hmm.
cusp.
Yeah,
And
he's right close to it.
I'm on the cusp of something as well, right?
Ooh. Oh, I always forget the date for your birthday. Which date is it on? It's in
23rd.
the, it's a little further past, but it is close. In
Well, they're
terms
on
of,
the day of,
right, they're
and
on the
I
same
know that
day.
what my son's personality is supposed to be according to the stars
Mhm.
is nothing, nothing, and my husband as well.
That makes sense. I mean, it could be that they relate more with their first house, which might show you more of like who they authentically are. Like I said, with the sun, there is a lot of ego, so it is how we see ourselves in the moment or how we would like to be seen. Where first house is more of our authentic selves. But also with being on the cusp, I believe that every sign that's sitting next to another sign, they share qualities. Kind of like if you think
Okay,
about a room of people,
that makes sense.
um, they kind of like pair up or like they're around each other because they're very similar to each other. So they kind of all tie into each other.
Being that close, so tell me this: what about so? Okay, for example, and I was it might have been you, but I know I was talking to someone else about it the other day. Um, what about like my son was almost 2 months early. You know,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter though, does it? It is when we are born.
Yeah. So
It,
our
like we're
natal
not
chart,
booked fully.
right? Our natal charts are a snapshot of the sky, essentially, when we were born, and that's why it's important to know where you were born and the minute that you were born, because our rising signs change every 2 hours, with some being even shorter. So without knowing exact timing, that you can't really know someone's exact chart. So it is based on when we're born. I was also very early. My daughter was
Mhm.
also very early, and I think that we are. It does play, in my opinion, play a part in our astrology because based on timing, my daughter turned out to be like the most Virgo I've ever met in my life. And I think it
Okay.
was meant to be that way because of our synastry. What she highlights in my chart and my husband's chart are very much needed. And so there's this element of spiritual growth. And you can see that in our astrology as well. Like if you put our natal charts on top of each other, essentially.
That's what I was going to ask. So, you know how much Taurus is in my chart. So you
Yes.
already know a lot about me. You know a little bit about my son
Hmm.
and my husband. They're all on the cusp, right?
Hmm.
A f- in under a roof with that situation. According to astrology, what kind of dynamic would it cause?
Hmm. Well, for you guys, what I would look for in terms of the house is the ruling planet. It's a big one. Really, the big three. So your rising sign, your sun, and your moon offers a lot. In terms of yours, having you said a Scorpio sun as a Taurus, I've I've generally seen them get along. They might butt heads because they're both fixed signs. So they are very stubborn and strong-willed, but they both are big lovers. So that's, I feel like that is a strong match. And even with Virgo as well, they get along with Scorpio, in my opinion, very well.
Well,
And I
yeah,
think they
they're yeah.
bring added order.
And here I am, a Taurus over here, like freaking love somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah. It's a very it's not a tough love,
and
but it kind
they're
of
over there
is.
laughing.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah, they're used to it, I'm sure. And even in my own house, our astrology, I have an entire house ruled by Mars. I have 2 Scorpio risings. I'm an Aries rising. So our planetary ruler, our chart ruler, is Mars. We're very passionate people, and that makes for some exciting times.
No, Spirit Itch. Sorry. For those that are watching
I know, I get
replay,
it.
that's what I'm doing. I get Spirit Itch, and they know that I am not open for that. Okay.
Right.
So, all right. Before we take some questions, how does a Taurus, as Taurusy as me, heal my inner child with astrology?
I would have to look to your moon sign, which I do know is an Aquarius. And so that would be a good place to start with that. Especially because it's a fixed sign, and if you look in astrology, is that right next to it? It is. So that would be
my moon sign is Aquarius.
Yes. And so because they're both fixed signs and they're right next to each other, they're like the next fixed sign, that creates an aspect, which is it's a square, which it can create an added level of pressure and difficulty to those placements, if that makes sense. So with that, healing a lot of your self-identity and what's in Taurus, I would look to the moon, because that's everything that's like squaring it, creating that friction and creating that chaos. So that would relieve that pressure on those placements for those to thrive, because a Venus ruled sign likes to be in the 7th house. It's naturally ruled by Libra.
A Venus ruled sign.
Yeah, which is Taurus. So Taurus,
okay,
it's a good placement for 7th house. I'm sorry, when I get going, I can't help it. But it likes to be there, and it's a positive, I would say it's a really positive placement, but because you have that one aspect, it can make it difficult for that energy to thrive.
So my moon sign is Aquarius, and then my sun sign is Taurus.
And your rising is Libra. So your chart ruler is also Venus. You're very ruled by love and very compassionate, big lovers. But
we're gonna say this one more time so I can write it down, and then we'll take questions. Okay, Aquarius. Okay, we're busy to get to that, Pam. That's what I was getting at. Okay, my moon sign is Aquarius, my sun sign is Taurus, and my rising. Yes, I am from Louisiana. If you were watching the replay, I am definitely very southern. I actually spelt it that way too, rising. Okay, my rising, you said is what? Libra. Okay, Libra. And then you put them all together and you get a Venus?
Yeah, so that means that your sun sign and your rising sign are both ruled by Venus. And honestly, with that, I would really say, what was that?
Is ruled by what?
Your moon what? Sorry about that. I'm like, wait, what?
Okay, my sun and my rising is both ruled by Venus. And then Aquarius.
Oh, you're Aquarius. Yeah.
Is ruled by what?
It's ruled by Uranus and Saturn. They're co-rulers. Okay, so that's a hard.
The U and what?
Saturn.
Okay. All right.
So you would look to your Saturn and your Uranus placements to get more information on your moon placement, because they're all influencing.
The moon cycles and sun cycles, they change every how often?
The sun is every like 30-ish days, and then the moon is every 2.5.
Okay, say that again. Okay, sun is what?
The sun is about every month, and then the moon is every 2.5 days. So that's why
Ooh.
tracking the moon and your emotional status and how you're feeling, it shifts a lot, because then it's going through your chart and it's hitting all of those placements, and it's
Within two
having
and a
all
half
of these.
days.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a lot of up and down. And one of the biggest that's one of the first practices I suggest with astrology,
Good man.
is to start tracking how you feel as the moon transits each sign.
Oh, I just finally figured it out. God almighty. Okay. So we're gonna move because I can ask you personally more, which I will be doing, by the way.
Of course.
Okay, so we have Miss Pam. You know Miss Pam over on Tickety Talk. She's over here on
Mhm.
Facebook right now. What about a Gemini sun with a
Mhm.
Scorpio moon? You can't see the comments?
I can see them.
Okay. I didn't know.
A Gemini
No,
rising and sun.
correction. Oh.
Yeah, with the rising and the sun, with your sun and your rising, we'll talk whole house system. So that's, I would say that, I mean, even with Gemini, there's going to be a lot of duality to who you are as a person. But there's a lot more harmony between who you think you are and who you say you are and who you actually are. You might be very authentic and very bold, blunt, and truthful, especially as a Gemini. And there's a little bit of chaos being ruled by Mercury, and that would play into it as well. But overall, it's a fun energy. But what I will say with Scorpio being in the moon, that's another thing with the moon phases is every sign, every planet has a sign that it likes to be in and a sign that it doesn't like to be in. So technically, the moon is in its fall when it's in Scorpio. So it doesn't necessarily like to be there. There might be some struggles with Scorpio ruling. Um, some of them are more subconscious nature. I would say it could just create a strained relationship with your emotions.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yay, that's what you call dumbing it down.
I'm
For
working on
Lucy.
it.
For
I
Lucy.
appreciate the
I'm gonna make
practice.
it clear for Lucy. It just hit me. I understood every bit of that.
I love that. Yeah.
See?
See,
Okay, so what
eventually it clicks.
Pam
I'll say.
Pam. Um Pam well, I could try. Would you like to come up for just a brief moment? We're gonna do it, briefly. It's different over here. I will try to send the link. If not, let me know real quick and I will ask for you. She needs to focus on, in order, what I want to know for Lee, how do you heal what? What part? Um, she said that fits 100%. What exactly do you want to focus on healing? Terry says she also understood that. So we all understood that. See, that's called
Nice.
dumbing it
Nice.
down at it. Look, come
Appreciate the
on,
feedback.
guys. Them my peeps down there. They too much like me. They too much like me. They
um,
gotta understand it. I'm like, and of course I'm just playing, but at the same time for myself, I'm serious. Like I can sit and talk to your loved ones. I'm an author. I'm a this. I'm a that. I am a smart cookie, but I have no freaking clue what she's talking about half the time. And Lee knows her stuff. Everybody has their own thing. It doesn't mean any different. So when I say dumb it down, it's only because that is my funny way.
mhm.
Why am I okay? Come on, let's have a vote. And I'm going back my whole life. Okay, so on a serious note, I know this is going to sound, I don't know how to put it, but bottom line is I'm a little funny. Like I can make you laugh even when I don't mean to
Mhm.
laugh, and I've noticed that
Mhm. Nice.
over. I mean, am I right or am I right? I mean, come on. So, and I've always been that way. Um, like we're five. Yeah, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with it. She knows her stuff, but that doesn't mean that like the word dumb it down. Like I'm
Mhm.
just saying for
Yeah.
people that don't
Yeah.
know me and watch the replay. But on a serious note, um, what what makes me funny? Is it my trauma, or is it my
Maybe
birth?
a little bit.
birth? Okay, and I was serious, but I knew you was gonna laugh at that.
No, I mean,
Is it
I
my
would say that,
trauma or
yeah, with
my
Chiron
placement?
involved, it's always your trauma. No, I'm just kidding. A little bit. That's what makes me funny. I like to think, but when you have Venus involved, there is playfulness with it. You
Okay.
know, same with, I mean, its sister sign is Aries, and Aries likes to play with people too. So, it's just one of those lighthearted things.
Oh
And
yes, ma'am.
Venus, is so active in your chart that it's our connection to joy. It's our connection to fun.
Well, I've kind of just always been that way. I didn't
Mhm.
realize it. I remember in high school, I done quit school. I was already, it was right before I, and for anybody watching, I'm also an advocate for angel moms and things like that. I'm very open about it. So it's not, boohooing situation, but right before my daughter passed. So right there between, and laugh when I'm sure. See, I'm not like that though.
That's
I'm
me
not.
too.
Somebody gets hurt. Well, like if I don't stop, I gotta finish what I'm saying. So anyway, I remember looking at a friend of mine. We grew up together, and it was right before. So we were kind of hanging out, having a good time, whatever on the weekend. And I said, "Well, I don't know why people laugh at me. I didn't." She said, "Because you're freaking funny." And I will never forget. I said, "Well, I didn't know it was funny." And she said, "Girl,
Mhm.
my God, since we were in elementary, like you're funny. You're fun to be around."
Mhm.
And I was, hey. So then once my severe trauma hit, of course, after my children passed, that's like if I can make anybody smile, make anybody laugh, and you got to learn to laugh at yourself as well. I preach that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was just wondering. I mean, I know trauma has a lot to do with it, but yeah. So
Yeah, I think astrology plays into it because it's our personality, and it's really good for shadow work because it kind of shows us what what we're hiding, or what we're not valuing about ourselves, which is that it is, um if we can make people laugh, or if we can bring them insight, or what we create to share with other people, ultimately astrology does teach us how to be in the world and own ourselves in the world.
well, that's just like at the end of a mediumship reading. I mean, I've
Mhm.
noticed, and finally being, more open about it. Uh, your loved ones on the other side, they like kind of know. Well, I got to throw in something funny. As if you haven't noticed, I'm sure you have. If not, start. Just lately, it's been like, okay, I'm going to end with something that will make them laugh through the tears, and
Mhm.
that's part of me using my
Yeah,
abilities to make other people smile and remember the good times, even though we're sitting there, very emotional. So here's my question. Let's say, when it comes to trauma, does that show up in people's charts too? Okay, I was just fixing to ask.
absolutely.
So she wants to know that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that even your Chiron is a good, both of our Chiron being in the seventh house, it shows a lot of wounded relationships. And so that can indicate that. And the sign of being in would show us how that manifests, where I tend to isolate and run, you tend to stay very loyal, and that is Taurus energy.
Wait a minute.
Um,
Wait a minute. Where you wouldn't run?
or I'll cut ties and run from people.
Oh, but
That's my association with like Chiron in the seventh house,
and I do what?
with Mars, because mine's ruled by Mars and Pluto. So Mars likes to be alone. Mars likes to be in control and be alone, where Venus loves people, and
And then
Venus
on
loves.
top, add to that, because I'm with you. I want to add to that.
Mhm.
You said where I do what? I'm very loyal,
Yeah, you're very
and I
loyal.
stay I stay too long, kind of thing.
Mhm. You're, yeah, loyal to a fault. That's kind
I
of the energy with
I ain't
that.
gonna lie.
And so it can show us trauma. Also, every zodiac sign rules a part of the body, and so it can show medical, it can show trauma, it can show all sorts of stuff. About, but most importantly, it shows us I like to call them motivators and influences, because it shows us what is influencing us and what motivates us to take action. And sometimes those motivators and influences are positive, and sometimes they're negative. And that can
No,
What's
that's
your sign?
Lee. She's talking about
I
herself. I'm
run.
too
I
loyal.
run. I'm a Scorpio, Sun and Mercury, but I'm also an Aries rising. So my ruling planet is Mars. I'm very Mars heavy, where you're very Venus heavy. So we do have a different expression of these very similar traits. We just go about it differently. Where I tend to be more masculine, a more masculine energy, and you're very feminine. And that's not in the
So,
way that we
okay,
think of it.
okay.
It's
Good question. Question.
mhm,
I had a lot of, I had, I'm realizing the more I
mhm,
learn, because just because I mean, I'm a psychic medium. I'm not too bad at it. I can see your loved ones. I can talk to your loved ones, but talking, a bit, talking to our loved ones on the other side is probably, I've discovered, I mean, that's a very small part of spirituality.
mhm,
Healing is number one. And things like this live right here. That's why I thank you very much for doing
mhm.
this, because it's
Thank
not
you for
that I
having me.
wanted to be the first. Hey, Lucy got you in a box. Okay, so I
No,
rock. All right,
like you
but
did.
but on a serious note, you know your stuff when it comes to this, and this is part of healing. Um, and so I seriously want to know at during the worst times of my trauma. Now I've always been very loyal. That is the problem. Always has been. Also, but I did have a lot of masculine because I would snap.
Mhm,
Which before the live we were talking about a little something. I snap. I can snap. You would never dream that because I have been working on healing for so long. So most of the people
mhm,
in my online community, because I don't have anybody in my day-to-day life other than my husband's son, right? um I mean, I would go off. I'm talking
mhm,
physical contact. Now I was abuse off and on my whole life, so it's kind of like, I don't know, something in the back of my brain, but I changed, other than the other day. But all in all,
mhm,
I have very much changed, and I'm like, but I would still, when I would have that masculine part, and this is like another, I feel like it's another lifetime ago.
mhm.
I sometimes wonder if
Yeah,
I hop timelines or something.
mhm.
Seriously, I
Possible.
know,
No,
I
it's
know, but
possible.
seriously, yeah.
With that, I mean, our
How? Like how?
it's a so what I would say with that is coming back to sister signs is when it'll be reflected back to us from that opposite energy. So the opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and Mars does take action. Mars is impulsive. The thing about Scorpio, though, is that Scorpio is less reactive compared to Aries, which is also ruled by Mars, um, where it does tend to wait until that last moment. And
And that's my
my
son.
my opposite
He's Scorpio.
expression is Taurus, and so sometimes what's showing me it's time to take like time to prioritize myself and what I need to take action on towards my own authenticity is expressed to me is shown to me through my own loyalty, like my loyalty to other people and the way that I love other people. So that's why sister signs are very similar but different. They have the same goal, but they go about it differently.
Just
But
like
it's
the
still,
average sister, like
yeah,
here, like sister.
absolutely.
Now
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't understand that. But on average, sisters are opposite but love each other very much and very deeply and ultimately loyal to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Even if they fight all the time, it's like eventually they end up loyal.
yeah, that's kind of
Again,
the
I
idea.
don't understand that, but on average, right?
Neither do I. I don't have any
Yeah.
sisters either. Got five brothers, but not one sister. But from what
So
I've seen, absolutely.
so what about the okay, well let's go to Pam. Pam, here is your let's ask this, okay? What is your number one, what you want to heal within yourself? So, will everybody in here, if you want to, ask that question to Lee, we'll do that. Number one, what is the number one? Just one though, because obviously we got a lot more than that. But what is the one thing you want to heal? What do you want? What would you want to use astrology to heal within yourself? Give her a minute. It's a little slower over here. How do you know if there is a Chiron?
Chiron. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a hard
Everybody
time
has
with it
it.
too.
Yeah.
I
Everybody
don't know.
has
You know
it.
how I know? Let me answer that. Let me answer Ashley.
Okay.
Ashley, because Lee told me. Because Lee told me.
Yeah.
That's what we gotta do. Like, if you want an astrology reading, uh, yeah, you got to make sure
Mm,
somebody knows your stuff. That is also, I want to make that. Anybody watching the replay, please follow Lee. She, okay. Well, wait, we're staying with Pam first, and then Ashley is next. Pam, where you at, girl? Where you at, my girl? Because I didn't ask, but Ashley, we together, girl. We together, honey. Okay. All right. Family trauma issues for Pam. You're gonna write a list. We're gonna do the professional thing. But it's gonna give you a small rundown, if that's okay. Of
yeah.
where you need to, yeah, I'm gonna shut up.
So, with family trauma, I would look at the fourth house, which shows our childhood. I would also look at
Write
the
this
third
down.
house.
Write this down, honey. Okay.
So, third house can show insight on siblings. Fourth house is about the mother, but also just the childhood home that people are raised in. So, I would look at that. I would look at the sun and the moon, but also the Mars and the Venus for more insights on mom and dad, essentially, and those influences of masculine and feminine. Um, so you can kind of see in different ways. And then Saturn and Chiron and Jupiter would all play because that's
Okay, you
they're
literally
all
just
very
named
lesson based.
everything.
I know.
So
Well,
everything for family trauma, huh?
kind of, because where we come from, it doesn't make us who we are. What we choose to do with it makes us who we
Mhm.
are. But it does show those influences. If you had a hard home, if you had a difficult mother, the best explanation I have is I have a Libra moon. I had a very perfectionist mother. And so that's kind of how I can see it in my own um, astrology. Um, but that can only provide like so much insight.
Right.
I'm
No,
trying to
no.
think of where
Yeah, I
else.
didn't make that clear. We're going to give a little rundown. But okay,
Right.
so Pam, you're a what and a what? Do you remember what she had said?
Gemini and Scorpio.
Okay, so you're looking at that while you tell her this.
Mm-hmm.
So, bottom line is, as
Scorpio,
much
yeah.
as what she's asking is, she would need an astrology reading to, you would be able to lay out exactly, like, explain to her what you would do with a reading, an actual,
Um,
what she's
yeah.
asking for in a reading. Of course, I'm just an explanation of how you would work that.
Um, as I would look at the chart and I would look at those positions, I would look at aspects, so any oppositions or squares, which are more harsh. But I would also look for some of the more harmonious aspects as well to see what's uplifting it, because it's not all negative. And I use my psychic abilities within
As
my
well.
astrology. I don't, yeah. So I don't only offer astrology as a reading. I do it. It's like an astrology psychic reading, essentially.
Yeah.
And sometimes even ancestors step in, especially with like the family trauma, because they like to show up to help heal that trauma, in my
Deal with
experience.
that. Yeah. And it's
So
funny you just said there. There goes my crow again. So
yeah.
I guess I need another reading. Okay, so that is an example. I know Ashley. Ashley, can you put what your sign is, so she can just give you a rundown as well? What is your sign, darling? Mother wounds, she said. And Keisha, it's so good to see you. I was just talking about you because we are talking. It all. She's kind of who I was talking about, of course, ethically, right? But about ancestors stepping in, and
Mm-hmm.
here you are, and she just said it, and I just
Mm-hmm.
said hi to you because so she didn't know. So yes, and she's kind of like me, guys. Like, okay, Sagittarius from other ones. Just a small rundown like you did with Pam.
With Sagittarius, they do have a battle between having to step up as a responsible one and also wanting to balance that with having fun.
Where she has said
Aries moon. Yeah, so with an Aries moon, I would more look to the moon for mother wounds. And Aries, that could talk about control from the mother. Um, and of course I'd have to see like what house and everything that shows up in, but it can be a very controlling or domineering parent or mother, and that can kind of translate into the way that we control ourselves. There might be a lack of that femininity where it's like kindness when you talk to yourself and trusting yourself and having faith in yourself. Those kinds of energies might be hindered because of that Aries placement. But I love Aries energy anyways.
So, Brightfoot, because you know you Brightfoot. I don't care what platform you on. What is your one thing that if you, because let's be honest, when we are doing inner child healing, we're doing any kind of healing work, we have to take one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which that's really, a lot of people know when I had my big awakening, it was only to, boundaries and energetic protection, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm still working on that. What is your sign, and what is the number one thing you would like to heal within yourself? And get a pen and paper too, darling. And Miss Keisha, it might be why you're. I think I can't remember who he was, but he has showed up, and I feel so bad because I know she was like, I don't know, but yeah, like I stuck with it. I stuck with it second
Mm-hmm.
time. First time he was already here like a couple weeks back, or maybe a month or two, but I stuck with it. And ended up I think she figured out who he was. But it happens a lot lately,
Mm-hmm.
like I was saying, and it was really wild, but that might be why he showed up to help with something.
Yeah,
If she's still in
absolutely.
here. I've been told to heal my inner child, and I'm a Leo. Okay, what do
Mm-hmm.
you want to heal within yourself? What do you feel? Sorry, I went psychic for a minute. What do you feel like you need? Um, oh yeah, hold on, Keisha. We'll talk about it, babe. We'll talk about it. Okay, so Terry is Brightfoot. Over on TikTok, you know Brightfoot. That's
Mm-hmm.
Terry. So what do you feel like you would like to heal first? Because inner child, yes, but there's something specific. Lead and shook her anxiety. But she let it go too much. Now her energy's like, okay.
Slowly but
It's
surely.
cool now though. We're chit chatting. I
Mhm.
told you it's gonna be nice.
Well, while she's doing that, what I wanted to tell you is something talking about intuition and gaining boundaries in uh, your psychic awakening or your development. I just like to call it psychic development because I believe we all are to some degree, and we just learn how to develop it, right? So, with you and having so much energy opposing Scorpio, Scorpios and water signs are very intuitive and it can be very intrusive um, when
Wait,
it's
okay,
starting
because
at
we're
that
so
level.
intuitive. What, huh? Start over. I'm sorry, I was reading. I promise.
Scorpio energy is very intuitive, and it's very common for Scorpio energy to work with crossed over loved ones or just the spirits in general. And so it makes sense as why you would have to set boundaries over opening. So astrology can kind of show how to develop psychic abilities or how to develop different skills along those lines as
Astrology
well.
can do that. And my son is a
Right.
Scorpio, right? See,
Mm-hmm.
I think about it, and Scorpio and Sagittarius, I get them mixed up. Is that what he's on
Yeah.
the cusp of or something?
November. Yeah, in November. Yes.
Okay, that's why I'm
Um,
confused.
and it
But
can be
he is
they are
very,
similar in their own ways, but they are very different.
he
Where
don't want us.
Sagittarius, like Scorpio, I would say is more intuitive. They get more information intuitively, where Sagittarius loves to read it in a book.
Yeah, he's at work on his break reading a novel. Like that's
Yeah,
and he got a tattoo yesterday. So anyway, like
I love that.
so Brightfoot, number one, nothing is wrong
Mm,
with you, my love.
never.
But you
Mm-hmm.
answered what I asked you. Um, So I'm
Mm.
gonna let you have this because as you know, I have the same question. Though I am gonna say
Oh, I love
God takes people out of my life, and with the family, I keep running back, and because they family,
that.
okay.
Hmm.
So now that's not the case, all right. But I am with you. So what she has said, can you give me and her? No, give her some advice.
So healing the
She is
inner
a
child.
what you say, Leo? She a Leo?
Hmm. That's, I mean, Leo's perfect for that and naturally rules the fifth house, which is very much our inner
Write this
child.
down.
Um, Leo, the fifth house actually talks about our children and how we show up for our children as well. So it is our inner child's nature. And that probably feels, I wouldn't say feels natural, but it might feel like, I mean, I won't go too far into it, but as a Leo
Right.
sun, you might view it more as immaturity or something along those lines more than feeling like you're having fun. It's an aspect of Leo, though. Um, but it does embody all of the inner child, which includes our emotions, which are very much rooted in our inner child. Not just our inner child wounds, but just a connection to our inner child. Um, and getting very comfortable in, like, it's like healing those beliefs about how you're supposed to be an adult helps you tap into that inner child in a healthy way. Healing like the limiting beliefs that our mothers and fathers have told us, the conditioning we faced at school.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all layers. That's what the healing journey is. That's what I talk about, ego versus authenticity. It is peeling back those layers in order to feel who you truly are at your essence.
Well, let me
And
ask
I'd have
you
to see
this,
more of the
and
chart to
it
see
is with the this with me and Brightfoot. Okay, so recently I have mentioned human design to you. I have not fully studied it. I have not
me
fully,
neither.
yeah, I mean, and when everybody knows I research my gifts and all that, so I want to make that clear. But I do know, I do know that I have found out that I am a projector.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Terry, yes, I called you by your real name. I want you to listen to this. We're gonna check into that for you. We're gonna do it on live one day. I'm gonna do it for everybody. Well, not everybody, especially my subs, but anyway, we're gonna do it one day. But I have the free app to find out what you are now, of course, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so I am a projector, and I'm like, so you mean to tell me it's meant to be this way? I was born, I am a projector, I am me. People love me, run to me, and I am this amazing person that helps you heal, blah, 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 blah. And then they run away. And I was born to be that way.
Yeah, I've seen your chart.
Even
You have.
according to human design. Now, that is what
Mm-hmm.
more scientific. So that goes with our astrology as well. How do
It,
you feel? Does that?
it, I think it includes, if I'm not mistaken, human design takes two or three different um, belief systems or structures and morphs it into one. And I think it does include astrology at least a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. But you
Yeah.
can see that with, and I've seen that as a Scorpio because the only thing I know about my human design is that I'm a manifester. And as a Scorpio, that tracks.
Mm.
Being able to work with energies and transmute them and to alchemize them into what I want them to be.
Yeah.
Um,
We're
I'm
gonna
good at
have
that.
more. We're definitely gonna have more lives like this. This is when I mean we're not done. I'm not saying we're getting
Mhm.
off or nothing, but it's gonna sound like it is. But alchemy and healing in general of everything, and this is my I'm just saying, God gave us a lot of things to use on this
Absolutely.
earth to heal, to live. And again, the earth and the sky is number one. You go to my Native American ancestors as well. Same thing. The earth, the
Mhm.
skies, everything. So
And
whatever
they have
you're
their own form of astrology as well. A lot of ancient
oh yeah, yeah,
cultures.
yeah.
Yeah.
So no matter what you believe, no matter no matter your culture or religion, astrology and this earth is number one. It's, it's meant to teach us and help us along the way, and that includes our healing. So Ashley already, okay, she already did hers. Terry Brightfoot, you and I have a lot in common. Keisha, are you still here, darling? Does anybody else want just a little rundown? But
It
Brightfoot,
would be
looks like me and you, like I'm getting a whole nother feel of your energy over here with not so much, Lee understands, like there's so much energy over on TikTok, going by. And I mean, I know your loved ones have come in, but as far as having a connection with you, I can definitely feel that, we have a lot in common.
it would make
Uh,
sense because there's generational planets as well. So we have our personal
really?
planets which are closer and they move faster.
Explain that
And
a
then
little
you
bit.
have so there I believe it's up to Mars. I could be wrong. But those are all the closest ones, so they affect us the most. Well, they affect us.
Well, how do we find out per our, oh girl? Okay, Ashley.
Um,
Ashley, I'm gonna turn on the camera for a second. Because obviously I'm taking a break. Ashley, when you come in my live and I holler, Lee, everybody knows when I holler, Lee. It's the only person I do that. It's the only thing I do. Tell me yes or no.
mhm.
No,
Yep,
it's for
all the
Ashley.
time.
I want to make sure.
No.
Pam knows.
Yeah.
Butterfly knows. Well, Butterfly ain't here. Shoot. But Butterfly knows. She's supposed to be here. But she took her husband. Y'all, Butterfly, y'all know my Butterfly over on TikTok. Her name is Pam here on any other platform. She did have surgery, but she is doing better. And if you don't know, she does have a seizure, uh, situation. She does have seizures pretty bad. And so she finally got well enough to take her hubby to, because she's always here. Always here. Every live she's here. When I leave, yeah. Okay, so uh she'll be tagged on Facebook, YouTube. This is the famously, yes. Yes.
No, it's not.
Keisha,
No.
to me,
It's
it
just
is. They
like,
know I'm
yeah,
talking
there you
about.
go.
Everybody knows
Um,
I'm talking about. This is Lee, yes. Finally get her in a box, but only on these apps that don't have as much negativity. Let's go on and be honest. Um, yeah, she's doing better. So I want her to know, like, I did talk to her, FaceTime her for the first time in over a week this morning. So, yeah, she was able to go to the movies. So, yeah. Also, we're not done, but I do want to say Psychic Sam, y'all know, holler Psychic Sam, Sacred Moon. Uh, Please be praying for her, whatever your belief is, good thoughts, whatever that may be. But please be praying for her. She did have, I know y'all know Sacred Moon, a Psychic Sam. She did have, and it's everywhere. There is a GoFundMe. Um, Look, you better be watching these comments down here, girl. She had a heart attack yesterday, guys. So, if nothing else on any of my platforms, I'm sharing them out. Of course, I'm gonna do my own on TikTok. Yeah, and if you don't know her, I'm really shocked. But yeah, she did. She's younger than me, man. She is, but she's been under so
yeah,
much stress.
yeah.
Yes, Brightfoot knows. Yeah, see, nice to finally meet you because you are so famous. But she, and Ashley, again, I will tag her, but she's in every one of my lives. I mean, occasionally, if it's a late live, she won't be in it. She's also one of my mods, so you'll see the mod. She's smarter than us, guys. I'm telling you.
No, I'm not.
No, yes, you
No,
are. You don't do
I
TikTok
just,
lives.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, TikTok is
Um,
one of those things.
yeah, and if you're new to TikTok as well, I do love my TikTok, but if you're catching the replay, we are live on YouTube and Facebook right now. I will be adding another platform. Yes, she has Brightfoot. Yes, she has. Um, to this, and yeah, she's just. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, she's just smarter than us. Do y'all know how much selenite I got surrounding me? Miss Keisha, did you want to give your sign? Also, you come in so late. Please watch the replay. Um, You'll find it interesting. You'll find it. And everybody, if everybody that's in here, we have 7 people between the 2 platforms, including Lee. If you would just even one time react to the live, one like, or I mean, if you want to just hit it a few times, it'd be nice too. But it would help with building up the my Facebook platform um, and YouTube as well. So I'd really appreciate it if you just to like. And I really, no matter what though, this has been. But Miss Keisha, if you would like to give your sign, your and if you don't, I mean, surely you know your sign. But if you don't, because I mean, I've been there. Okay, I've been there. And would like to. If you're fine and you don't want to, that's fine too. Just say no, I'm good because these comments do move a little bit slow, but the energy is really nice here. Um, I love doing readings over here. But we're definitely, if Miss Lee will, gonna do some more lives like this. I do want to know more about it. It's just no, I got too much in my brain. I do. I got too many people. I got too much.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got too many. You know, I got too much in my brain. Uh,
Mhm.
Keisha might have hopped out. I know she was here. I think she was just listening and supporting. But if she wanted to, so for me as a Taurus, so how I was feeling right before the live, and I told you about, it makes sense that I don't really feel like I need to do that. Would that make sense right now with the sky?
That's one thing I can't pull up is the current transits for some reason.
Is that
Um,
what you've been trying to do and you can't do it? It's just not meant to be.
yes, this whole time being, of course.
Oh my
And that's okay.
gosh.
Um, I
She
mean,
always, you always be able to just pull it up, pull it up, pull it up.
mhm. I like to be able to look at what's going on. Whenever there's
Yeah.
something going on, I immediately go look at where the
Oh,
moon's at.
there she is. She is an Aries. Of course you can, Brightfoot, anything. But I am talking to Keisha. Go ahead and ask your question. It's just a couple of us in here. We will keep up. Keisha, is there one thing? This is astrology healing. Is there one? What is the number one thing that you would be interested in healing within yourself? And as an Aries, Lee can give you a little rundown. You can jot it down. Google rocks. Of course, she does readings and as well with a little psychic thrown in, and you never know. I would also like to know for Keisha, do you like she said she didn't know much about him. Now, right before the live, I was like, I know he's already been here for her, and she couldn't take him because she could validate him.
Mhm.
But I kept going because I was like, mm-mm. I had
Mhm.
somebody come in my life and say, "You are horrible at what you do." Y'all remember that? And I'm like, I actually said, one thing I know I'm good at this. Like, no, but
I
whoever it was.
mean, everybody has a hard reading every once in a while.
Well, it wasn't
Okay,
a hard
that
reading. It was hard reading for me.
yeah.
Y'all,
Well, that's the thing is like it.
my
I
citrine
don't know.
got stuck.
It happens. It can be
Childhood
hard to
trauma
place.
for an Aries.
Yeah, it had to. I would say the biggest thing to heal that is to open up and let people help, to allow people to be a part of your journey, and to veer away from hyper independence for an Aries.
Um, what as an Aries? That last word you said, literally, I have no idea what you said.
Hyper
Hyper. There
independence,
we go.
where they feel the need to do everything on our own and to
So
like
they
it's
go for
also
you.
keeping it unique, like letting community to be like a part of the um journey in general.
Mhm. Hello, hello. Well, my name is Lucy. I go by Heavenly Connections. I'm a spiritual or Christian psychic medium. Lee over here is an astrologist, a psychic medium. What else? What, and say it. She does everything.
Ancestral healing. I
And
do some
right now
spiritual
we are
coaching.
talking about ancestral healing. That's right. Right now we're talking
Mhm.
about astrology and astrology healing. Um, so Keisha, all right. So why do you think now, as a medium, with you know all the experience I've had, I know that happens. But for a sitter, okay, why do you think? And her dad was here as well, just standing behind him, and he
Mhm.
didn't really throw in any info. So usually
Mm.
that's what happens. I let whoever's behind that really wants to talk to can throw in a little something here and there. You might get a little something, something, right?
Mhm.
But so this was an uncle, right, Keisha? I believe it was uncle. But why do you think? And he's been here before, but she couldn't validate him. So um, do you believe? Because I really feel like there's something that he could help her with.
Mhm. That's usually why they show up. Is there something either, like I was saying, from their life story, their life struggles, their highs and lows, that there's something to learn from, or it's a
So
specific issue
okay, okay,
or
that's what.
generational cycle as well. It could also just be associated with big uh, events. If he's associated with a big event in the family, I could see them popping
Mhm.
through.
Sometimes they're just tired of being. Okay, here's my question, and I
That's
can.
true too.
Keisha, do you hear from your dad a lot or often? Have you heard from him often since his passing? Um, because he was here, and I also know where I met you, so that's why I'm asking. Like sometimes they just want to come in. They just tired of being, hey, I want to go chit chat too.
They do,
I
yeah.
mean, that's just the truth. But
Mhm.
I feel like there's more to it because she is here in this live, and um, I don't know Keisha very well. Sweet as she can be, I met her in another live, and she's got a beautiful energy. So I don't know any. My dad, your dad's still here. So who was it behind him? There was a male, but this was an uncle that we talked to. So that might have been grandfather then. I couldn't see him. It was just I could feel him. I could feel his energy. But the man I was talking to was that uncle. I'm just curious because of the live, and plus we can chit chat a little bit over here, and things are slower. It's nice. It's nice being that and it happens. It always 99.9% of the time I'll get a message later. There's one recently that I did post because it went so far as to or uncle or grandpa. Okay, it went so far
Mhm.
as yeah, it's just I'm being told to stop. So anyway, it was posted because she knew absolutely nothing about this. Not Keisha, but a different. And she emailed me like 3 pages of stuff. Like she was, I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Mhm. No, yeah. I've gotten that email too. Where it just takes sometimes if it's not who they think is gonna come forwards, it takes a second to kind
That,
of
yeah,
find what it
yeah, yeah.
fits.
Well, that's
Mhm.
why I always say it's never gonna be. I know. I
True.
know, Pam. Okay, I'm just gonna run and get a drink. I'll be right back. Y'all ask Lee any question you want to, and she'll pick whichever one she wants to answer.
Got it.
So
I'm into
y'all,
this now.
let me get my drink. Let me get my drink.
Yeah. I've had some ancestors come through from many generations back. Um, which can be hard as an evidential medium when you're wanting to have someone walk away knowing who they were connecting with. Um, it can kind of be hard to validate it, but they're still with us regardless, even if they're recognized or not. Especially for healing the inner child, especially for healing the family um, cycles and habits. houses. There's a couple different house systems. I work with whole house, which just lines up the zodiac signs with the houses in a different way, and in another way. But there's 12 houses, and they all kind of rule over a different aspect of our life. So first house is self and our identity. Second house is our values, and it can rule over money. Third house is, the way that we express ourselves, so on and so forth. So they all have like their own rulership, kind of like the planets. And each house is ruled by a zodiac and the planet that rules the zodiac as well. So there's layers to the information.
I see.
Oh, both cancers. That's why the divorce. I mean, two cancers together, that's a lot of emotional energy, and so I could see how that wouldn't work long term. But
well, what about so yeah, that's a lot of emotional energy. So then it explodes
and dominant energy. Yeah. They're cardinal signs. So they want the control. And it could be around the way that the home is, or the way that people are nurtured, those kinds of things, because that's just what it rules over. But yeah, two cancers. I wouldn't say that two water signs together don't work, but two cancers in particular might be a little rough.
So what about, okay, that was my question. Like my speech.
Yes, a Taurus and a Virgo. Taurus and a Virgo, you and your husband?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is that there's going to be a fight for power. Virgo loves control. Taurus loves control.
Really?
It's really learning about harmony. Yeah, absolutely. When it matters, Virgos is a mutable sign. So there's 3 different modalities for each sign. You can either be cardinal, fixed, or mutable. Mutable signs are more open, like Virgo.
She done got comfortable and she's talking like she talks, and all these big words be coming
it's
out.
Just how I know.
I don't know the definition. I have half of what she just no, but at least three of them words. Modality. What is modality?
So it's I couldn't even give you a definition for it. It's just it categorizes each of the signs. I love talking about Pisces and Sagittarius. So essentially, like, cardinal signs love to take action, love to take control of the situation. They're full of ideas, but they might struggle with follow through.
So
fixed sign. No, that's cardinal is Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and what is the third one? Or is that all of them? I feel like I'm missing one. Anyways, there's cardinal, but for Virgo, they're mutable, and mutable signs will go with the flow for as long as they can, but then they'll try to take that control back. Okay. And Taurus is very bold and blunt, and that can cause friction, but it doesn't mean that it can't work. It just means it's something to work through, essentially.
Oh, so Taurus is actually blunt. So it's not just me, like,
and it rules your Mercury too. Yeah, Mercury is how we express ourselves.
I say it all the time. It's been a while since I've said that, but I'm blunt with the heart. Like, I'm going to tell you the truth. You're not going to get a lie out of me. And,
it's passionate speaking.
But I'm going to do it nicely and calmly, because I've always said you can say anything to me in the proper way, in the proper manner, and odds are I'm going to forgive you very quickly. But if you lie to me or you downgrade me, talk at me, so I feel like I'm the same way with other people. I don't, if I sound like that I'm talking at someone or down to someone, please, I always say please, because that is the furthest. Like, I'm just not going to lie to you, and I'm going to be straight up completely. All right, all right, so Ashley first, what she asked, because listen, we got to be fair. Ashley asked something, and then Pam.
So with Pisces and Sagittarius, they're both ruled by Jupiter. And I kind of like how they represent maybe the two sides of Jupiter, the same way that Aries and Scorpio represent the two sides of Mars, where they're very much focused on growth and expansion, where Sagittarius, like I said, it's very much higher learning, You might want to take a lot of classes. You might want to just be researching a lot, or just a natural drive to seek out physical resources on what you're feeling. But they are still very intuitive, where Pisces is more naturally intuitive. But the issue with Pisces is that they also naturally rule the 12th house, which is the subconscious, and our illusions, among other things. So Pisces actually, while being some of the most natural intuitives, don't trust their intuition, which blocks it the most. Because self-trust is like the foundation for intuition.
Pisces gotta be full of ego.
Oh yeah.
That's my
I mean,
personal. Let's
anybody is.
remember, I don't know nothing about astrology, guys.
I mean, with it's because the reason why I would see that is because I've been talking about this a lot with the ego, is we lean on our ego when we're avoiding the subconscious and are avoiding our truth. And that's what shadow work is. It's shame, putting things to the side, either ignoring it or letting it be unseen in general. So Pisces, if they're avoidant, any sign really, if they're avoidant of their own truth, they're going to lean on their ego. So it can, because it is around the subconscious.
Pam asked something, or did you already answer that? Ashley said, "Make
Aries
some."
and Cancer. They're
So,
two cardinal signs, so I just feel like they would end up fighting for control, where
see,
one
where you
person
went
might.
wrong with me, where you went wrong with me, is all of a sudden you started talking about cardinals.
Oh yeah, well, it's one of the modalities, but yeah, I could see
So,
that.
is that literally like a cardinal bird?
No, it's just I'd have to learn more about how they even got those
I
things
just wanted to
work,
make.
but no, yeah, you're a fixed sign, so like that's what, and it all, like all of the fixed signs, which is Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus, they all share the same kind of stubbornness, and strong will as every other one, even though they're all different elements. Um, so it kind of just shows those patterns of similarity.
So Brightfoot's husband is a Taurus. So that means that's why you're drawn to me. You like me. Let's see. I don't know.
Tauruses are just like they can bring a sense of home with them, um,
Yes.
depending on a lot of factors, I'm sure. But as a Leo, I feel like they would just give you the space to. It depends, because there's an evolved aspect of these signs, and then there's an unevolved. So there are um, things that we have to work through to be able to reap the benefits of each sign. So as much positive as like a Taurus and Leo, they could be a sense of home, or like bring balance to each other by being different, but those differences can also create a lot of disagreements as well.
So what? Why would example like we're talking relationships here? So I'm gonna say, for mine. So y'all just add to yours. With the Virgo and the Taurus. So they both need control. You said.
Yeah,
Um.
but that could also be true for anybody who's struggling with their masculine energy in general outside of astrology.
Okay. So masculine energy could be okay. I got it. Just hit me. It just hit me. Okay. Pam says, any thoughts on Pisces and Gemini? She laughing about it because she knows you. It ain't thoughts. She knows her stuff. Shoot.
No, I just share what I had to say about them. They're one of my favorite. I'm married to a Pisces, so I'm a little biased, but
Okay. Well, I'm
um,
being honest because y'all that are in here, my ex husband, as everybody that I see in here now, I know the replay again. Um, Domestic violence advocate, and so my ex-husband, my first two children that passed, was a Pisces. Now I understand that, and this, I guess this is a question. Okay. um with physical abuse, is that just from trauma, or can that be from placements as well? That just hit me. That has not been thought about really ever.
Right. And so with this it kind of goes into the idea of spiritual bypassing. You can't use your
There's
placements as
Eden.
an excuse for poor choices at the end of the day.
Right.
And
Okay.
talking about motivators and influences, if you have a really hard Mars sign or you have harsh aspects to the Mars sign, it can make you more impulsive. It can make you explosive because it's the planet of war. So those, yeah, so
Okay.
you can see those things, and that's why I like it as a tool for healing, because if you can know that about yourself and you can catch it earlier and earlier and earlier, then healing has been done. And so it can bring insight like that. Like you may be more susceptible to these kinds of cycles or these habits. And what you do with that is your expression of your power.
Gotcha.
These planets are, like I said, teachers and healers. They're not scapegoats.
There
It's
we go.
not,
Love that.
yeah,
Okay.
you can't blame it on anything other than your choice, because we're very powerful in who we are just as people, that the planets don't determine that for us.
That's right. Yeah, Ashley loves. There's my Eden. Eden, put in your sign, and what is the number one thing that you would like to heal within yourself? I knew she was in here a minute ago. I'm like, she ain't saying nothing. Uh Number one, that's right, Ashley. Number
Exactly.
one thing, the first thing, because we got to go one at a time. What is the first thing when you think about it that you want to heal within your inner self, and your sign, what your sign is? And Lee's just gonna give you a little rundown. And trust me, guys, it's nothing. Now, I've had a mini uh astrology reading, but she my friend, so when we talk it just kind of comes out, kind of like when you're my friend and all of a sudden we're sitting there talking, and your loved one just shows up, kind of same thing,
Mhm.
right?
It is the
So
same
it's
thing.
it's it's the perks, right, of having other spiritually
Mhm.
gifted friends. So, but I have seen firsthand, and I need to sit down with my husband, and I've already said this before, and get a full reading. Eden, where you at, girl? Was your yeah? We waiting on you, huh? Okay, Gemini, negative self talk. I know that was.
Mm. Mhm.
Make sure everybody that come in late, make sure you watch the replay because there was a lot at the beginning as well. Okay.
The thing about Gemini is that they always say that they have like split personalities or dual personalities, and they're always trying to figure out which one's the real personality. The reality is both. Um, there's no shame in who you are or how you live your life if you choose to hold no shame for it. Um, and that's something that you have to decide for yourself. Starting to lean a little more into my spiritual coaching. But when it comes to negative self talk, especially as a Gemini, that is the Mercury ruled air sign, your words and your thoughts hold so much power. And once as you acknowledge that you're the consciousness experiencing your thoughts and overlooking your thoughts, you can take back that power of what you choose to put your value in. So instead of the negativity, because they can just be intrusive thoughts that your brain loves patterns. Um, and
This
so you
is
just have
Gemini.
to build, yeah, you just have to build new patterns. You have to give yourself that chance to be the kindness that you're looking for when it comes to negative
And
self
it's
talk.
work. It
Yeah,
is work.
it's a fight. Every single second, you have to be
It
that
is.
person. What you're seeking to hear from other people, you have to be that person.
And it does suck. It does.
Mhm.
Is that so? I very much same thing, right, with Eden.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, I know who I am.
Mhm.
I know that I would give anything to have a friend like me. Just on average, I'm just in words. Like
Mhm.
I'm finding them. I'm finding them, and I'm aware of that. I'm just saying, my whole life, it's like I know who I am. I know that I would give anything to have somebody care as deeply about me as I
Mhm.
do people. Um, and there are times that I get triggered. We have all have triggers. Um, Lee and I recently talked about that. That was a really educational for me. I don't, like the whole trigger thing, but I'm used to talking to other people and then having anybody talk to me about it. But um, I will have triggers, and I'm like, okay, everything they said, here it comes blurting out of my mouth. It must be true. It must be true. A lot of that is trauma, but we are doing this live is completely about healing and using astrology to do so. I learned that with my childhood trauma, choosing to be different than who raised me. That's right. Someone else is in the chat that we recently in a reading talked about um, desperately trying to heal those mother wounds and be a better mother than and who ain't there? Who ain't? I mean, we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to want, as parents, as mothers, as fathers, to want to do better at all times than what we were raised with, or whatever. I mean, we could have a very healthy relationship with our parents, and we still are supposed to want to do better, maybe in different subjects or areas. So yeah.
And that's what ancestral healing really is. It's less about healing it for you don't heal your lineage for anybody else except yourself. Like showing up as the example that you want to see in your family is the best thing that you can do. And it goes and talking about the mother wound and healing that. That's also how we nurture ourselves. It's very much rooted in our feminine energy. So how you were mothered by any mother figure. I've had my biological mother, my stepmother, my mother-in-law, all of those people played a part in my mother wound. How I show up for my daughter, because of course we would love to be different from what we experience, but the reality, at least for me, is that it hasn't been that easy. And sometimes our children are there to help teach us as well, as long as we can humble ourselves enough to be taught by the world, especially by children. Because that's what our relationships is more teachers. Everything's
That's
around a
true,
teacher.
and it's so crazy how I'm just thinking a collective I did. I don't know. I don't know if I went live. Of course, we all do. Any natural, I mean, good parent does. Just because we're not the best, we're all gonna make mistakes. All of us.
Yeah,
Not
and
near one of us perfect.
that's why
Not as
ego doesn't really
as
have a place
loud as
into
I
it.
mean, it's just fact. That's fact. We're
If
not.
we hold the attachment to being a certain kind of parent, instead of just trying to show up authentically, I feel like that's where we kind of trip ourselves up the most. And that's in terms of just doing anything, but parenting especially when we're wearing the weight, like the burden of our
Yeah.
parents' mistakes. We tend to fixate on that aspect, and then we don't see where we're causing harm in a different way as well. So that's why it's important to do that healing for ourselves, so we can lift that burden and show up um, as ourselves with our children as best that we can.
I did a really good job. I ain't gonna lie. Until my mother passed away. A lot of people, if you're watching the replay, I ended up with medical conditions, and a lot of trauma and grief happened. Um, and then I feel like I messed it all up, though I know I didn't mess it all up, but I certainly backtracked, because life happened to me as well. So trauma and grief. We have grief brain. I talk about that all the time. We have, a lot of factors. So for me, and I'm saying this because Brightfoot is like, we obviously have a lot in common. Thinking about myself from a parent growing up, so it feels rude to yourself. Yes. Used to tell your son you would see. I did. I actually, and he'll tell you, but until grief brain and this, that, and another happen, of course, that's what we're healing. We're working through. Hello, darling. Definitely watch the replay. You got to. I don't know if you're
Oh, goodness.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you're watching the replay. I'm so sorry. I'm very embarrassed. If you didn't see it, then great. That's wonderful. Um. So anyway, but definitely, Miss Sierra, watch the replay. We've had a beautiful live. Yes, I'm so glad that. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry, but you can definitely watch the replay. Miss Sierra, if you would like to put in your sign and one the number one thing you would like to heal within yourself. Everybody else can go on and laugh at me. If you saw it, you saw it. And whoever watches the replay, you can laugh too. I'm laughing. I'm laughing at myself. See, we were just talking about it, wasn't we? Laughing at yourself. It
Yep.
takes a lot to embarrass me, though. I mean, don't get me
Mm.
wrong. I didn't do it on purpose, but I
No,
lost some
I always
weight,
tell
and our
myself
teeth don't work right. I ain't gonna lie.
whenever
They just.
I feel like that shame or embarrassment, I just tell myself that it's of the ego. And it
I'm
reminds
like,
me that
yeah. I
it's
mean,
not me, you know?
I don't. Yeah. So Miss Sierra put in, yeah, one thing, the number one thing, and Miss Lee will give you a little rundown before we wrap up. Um,
Perfect.
Scorpio, work through your grief. Yes. Very, very
Hmm.
recent. I mean, very recent grief.
Okay.
Extra recent.
A Scorpio is going to need to get comfortable being alone and learning to love that space for what it offers, especially in terms of navigating grief. But on the same end, it's the balance of also allowing people to be there for you and not being afraid to take up space. Not feeling like a burden and being comfortable being taken care of. It's
Letting
vulnerable.
people help you.
Scorpios, there's so much that sometimes step a battle with the ego a bit with how we show up in other people's lives.
I'm glad. Because of Dale. Wait, Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio. That makes total sense. Um, with my recent loss or most recent loss, that's what happened to my son. That was his first big loss. It wasn't his first loss, but as an adult, almost adult. So as a Scorpio, that was the thing, like blocking it. And that is, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what, no matter what you're healing, blocking it, pushing it down, it's just going to fester within your body,
Yeah.
your heart, your mind, all the above.
Yeah. And I can see with any water sign where it almost, I feel like they feel emotions. We feel emotions. I'm a Scorpio. We feel emotions so deep that it can strain the relationship with our emotions because it's easy to get lost in it. And so it's that balance between knowing when you need to make space for it and knowing when you need to take the break from it because you find yourself sitting in it for long periods of time. It's unhealthy. It's not helpful.
So, well, I got one more question for you.
Okie dokie.
All right. I'm going to write it down here. We have fire signs,
Mm-hmm.
we have water signs, we have earth too, right?
Yeah, earth and air.
All right. So, this is where I get mixed up. What are the fire signs?
Um, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius.
Oh, Aries, Leo, and a Sag. Sorry, it moved on me only. What happened? What are we talking about? Missed it. I'm working I'm making dinner, but I'm going to watch. Oh, okay. The water signs. What are they?
Uh, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces.
Scorpio and Pisces. And our signs.
Capricorn. Crap. Capricorn, Taurus. We've been talking about it the whole time. Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo.
Well, I thought you said I was a um water sign, but
No, it's
I thought
reflecting
that
into
was
a water sign.
huh.
It's reflecting into a water sign. And sometimes when people have a lot of energy in, like, say, an earth, so yours is earth, and it's opposing a water sign, that water energy is going to show up more than you would think it would, because you would hear earth sign and be like, oh, grounded, maybe more, not so much like analytical, and you do like your physical proof, which makes sense as an earth sign, but there is that it shows up in your natural intuition, where the sister sign would just do it the opposite way.
So that's why I mean, like, just for just for example, for playback, I back all my abilities up in scripture because I had to. But that's how I do things with life. Like I have to, and just like with people, I don't believe anything. I have to see it for myself. I don't believe
Mm-hmm.
everything I hear about someone or about something. I have to see it for myself. But I've
That's
been
what
done
scripture
so
says, I think.
dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, people talk about me. I've got to see it for myself. I'm like, I think the world would be a better place if we all said, "Hey, you talking about this part? What? I gotta go see this for
Mm-hmm.
myself. What's up? What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm gonna open myself up and let you hurt me just to see if it's real or not. I mean that I'm good at that because I mean that's just how it's got to be. So the
It's
air
just giving
signs
them the benefit of the
are
doubt.
air signs are what?
Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini.
Aquarius and a Gemini. So tell me something. I'm going to tell you, you know a little bit about me, so I can say, okay, my father, my sister, and my brother are all Aries is January, February, right?
No.
Or is that
January, February. February is Aquarius and Pisces, and January is Aquarius and Capricorn.
uh okay? So January 24th, 31st, and February 18th.
I
They're
think that's
all the
all
same sign.
Aquarius. All
Aquarius, all of
Aquarius.
them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Aquarius, uh, that's them. My dad,
Mm-hmm.
my brother, and my sister. My
Mm.
mother, my mother, I keep forgetting. So Dale's on the cusp. Okay. December 7th
She's
is what
Sagittarius.
is a Sagittarius. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why my son is on the cusp of Sagittarius and Scorpio.
You
So that's
you
why him and
probably.
my
I mean,
mother
both are
were so
fiery,
close.
so
Huh?
both are fiery. Scorpio and Sagittarius.
But that makes sense why they were so close. But I'm a Taurus in that mix
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with a
Earth.
lot of abilities too. But we won't talk about that. We're talking about healing. So a Taurus in the middle
That's a
of a
part of healing.
Sagittarius and three Aquariuses.
Aquarius energy is rough. Um, Especially with him, with ego, because Aquarius energy
Aquarius
can feel very isolated, yes, but it's like coming back to the idea of avoidance. If they avoid what true, like their own
avoidance
authenticity, that's where ego has the space to kind of
and
um
Sag.
yeah. And so if you have multiple of them talking about their ideas, it's really easy to, like, you think
Yeah.
God complex, like those kinds of ideas. Yeah, where they think like the opposite end of, like, maybe low self-esteem is a heightened sense of self. So it's just an imbalance at the end of the day.
And in the
Harmony's found in the
Sagittarius,
middle.
you're Sagittarius.
Me? I'm a
Or
Scorpio.
Scorpio?
I have a lot
So
of
you're a little
Sagittarius,
biased.
though. Well, yeah, a little bit. Kind of just no. I know it very intimately. I know it very intimately.
Oh,
The
right.
battle of a
So
Scorpio.
my son's on the cusp, right?
Mhm.
Sagittarius, Scorpio, and my mom Sagittarius.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm a Taurus in the middle of that. I'm trying,
Mhm.
like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and also your
feels.
personal astrology
Thank you, babe.
with
Trying to get
your
my.
yeah. I can
I was
yeah.
rapping this morning because I'm just so sick of her not. My mama too.
Mhm. Yeah.
Where are
Your mom.
you?
Your mom was
Like I can
getting my
talk to
attention
everybody
before we
else's
got
mother
on.
when I can even connect with my papa now. I can see him and everything. Never met him, right? But
Mhm.
where are they? Where are they? Yeah. Y'all, if you're new to me and you're watching the replay, I am going to say my name is Lucy. I go by Heavenly Connections. I'm a spiritual psychic medium, which is technically a Christian psychic medium. I'm a little bit of everything. If you gave me a name, Lee, what would you call me?
I don't like labels.
I don't either, but
I'm not good at them. I don't even know what to call myself either. I call myself a spiritual practitioner because it's a big enough umbrella to
yeah,
cover everything that I
I
do.
love the spiritual psychic medium part. But
Yeah.
to explain to anybody coming across this live, I do a lot of things. I do a lot of things. I love everybody because I mean that's what we're supposed to do. And I don't judge anybody and I love knowing about your because I've had so many on YouTube just this morning. So I love knowing about other cultures. I love knowing about other people and beliefs and God made us all. So and I don't know everything and none of anybody else does either. So, for those that, again, this morning I've had several people that want to argue or down me for being a Christian, and I'm going here and I'm going there, you know. So that's why I'm saying this. Um, uh,
Mm.
a lot, a lot. But I'm usually over on TikTok. That is my big platform. I am trying to move over here to YouTube and Facebook. I do a lot of my educational angels in true form. Also, Lee also works with archangels, guys. I
You
didn't say
do.
that part. That's kind of how I mean. That's kind of where when we met. She does a lot of different things. This is Lee. She goes by Moth Spirit. Tell everybody how they can book a reading with you, especially those in the comments that have asked.
Just my website. All of my services are listed there. They will be changing soon because of I just feel like it doesn't highlight astrology enough, honestly. So right
You
now
don't. You don't.
I didn't. It was always in addition to my readings. And now I'm starting to kind of reframe it. But yeah, everything is on my website. I do most of my work privately, outside of some in-person events. But that's where you can find me. And I do have some more
Definitely
stuff
on
coming in terms
Facebook.
of like
And
blog.
are you subscribed to my YouTube?
Me?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm surely to yours too. So I will tag you on both platforms.
Okay.
So in the comments of the live, this
I
live will
can send you.
automatically post. That way y'all can go straight
Yeah.
to. Are you on your business page now, or is this your other?
It's probably not my business page. I'll send you my business page. So you can try to tag that one.
There's Jules, darling. All right, before we close out, hey,
Mm-mm.
perfect timing too. What are your thoughts on the Capricorn and Aries? How do you keep the balance?
Everybody needs to find their corner and focus on that corner. Give whoever, whatever the other person
That sounds like
thrives
you need to
with.
go to your own corners and stay there.
No, in more terms of like managing a household, everybody needs like their lane and to kind of stick with it, if that makes sense.
Well, how do you come
Otherwise,
together?
there's that is working
That
together. You take the general. How would I explain this? I'm thinking of it as in housework, but it can be true with other aspects too, where someone might find it easier to maybe put together dates, and the other person finds like maybe gift giving. It's still showing up in the relationship differently, but everybody has their sense of control in a different aspect of life, so it doesn't like cross boundaries, and it can kind of take some
Working together.
moving stuff around. Yeah, like this isn't working for me. How does this work for you? It takes a lot of communication to make it work.
I was going to say, so that's the first time because I was going to ask and forgot. But when Jules said that, like, that's the first time that you've got like two signs that are clashing more than any of the others we have went over. Is
Yeah,
that
because you got a fire sign and an earth sign. Fire burns earth. I mean, that's true for air too, but
right?
where water might cool it out a little
Fire,
bit, it just
um,
amplifies it.
yeah.
So, I mean, and you have two cardinal signs as well, so they do need their sense of control over something. And it might be where someone has that sense of control outside of the house and one has it inside the house. It's just finding that balance to where like people aren't stepping on each other's toes.
So definitely the bottom line to dumb down for people like me is because it sounds like, and I'm just putting myself in her question, like it sounded like, okay, go to your own corners, do your own thing. How do you what's the dumb down for Lucy answer to being able to find that balance?
The boundaries, coming together on the things that you guys
So sit
enjoy
down and
with each other.
actual
It could be, yeah, like it could be whatever you guys enjoy doing together, do together. But if there's certain things that you find that there's disagreements on, that's where more boundaries are needed, and kind of going into it with a plan of kind of what I have in mind is I have this like deck. It's not tarot cards or anything. It's this deck where it's a communication deck with your partner where you decide who's going to handle what ahead of time so there's no disagreements about who's supposed to be doing what. That kind of idea. Where you
wow.
set like a
Wow.
minimum standard of care, you set expectations or like and then you place boundaries with that person. So it's not that they can't get along. It's just that there's a lot of
So
opportunities
it
to learn how to work with each other.
takes a lot more work than the average signs, basically.
I would say that it's more an internal thing on how you address the way that you show up more than it is trying to get the other person to do what you want.
So let me ask you this. So a reading with you in that case, with Jules'
Mhm.
question and that those signs, would a reading with you be able to give a more detailed plan on how to actually find that
Yeah.
balance?
Yeah, because what you're going to get in a reading with me is we're going to dig into it psychically as well. And we're going to feel into what the blockages are, what the healing is needed, like what healing is needed, outside influences, but it's not going to focus on the other person. It's going to focus on how you show up with that other person. That's just the way that I work. And so being able to connect one-on-one definitely offers the most insights with those kinds of things. Because it's not just me. It's not what I feel. It's more what your guides are saying. We include if your ancestors show up. Oh, is it frozen? Oh, oh. I'll probably just hop down then.